Sometimes I'm like, am I dreaming? Am I actually doing this? It was in 1997 that I first started doing stand-up. And as a kid, I'd always been picked on and made fun of, and people were always like, go back to your own country. And I was born in America, so it was such a struggle for me, and I wanted to be heard, and I wanted to stand up for myself. So that's one of the personal reasons I got into stand-up comedy, and that's how I first started doing stand-up. And my family's reaction to my stand-up was pretty good. I mean, I'm the youngest of 3 girls, and I think I'd always tried to do the right thing. Like, my parents saw me struggling to do the right thing, and they saw that I was really unhappy. So finally, when I did stand-up, they were just like, okay, maybe she's completely crazy, but let's see if this works. And when they saw people laughing, they were just like, okay, this is what she's meant to do.
Hello! My parents came to this country in 1970, and let me tell you, it is really difficult to raise 2 Indian parents in America. I could never ask my mom about sex. She would freak out. She'd be like, Vijay, you don't need to know sex. That's only for prostitutes. Or white girls. My mom has this really annoying habit of quoting television commercials to me at really inappropriate times. I was like, Mommy, I had a really hard day at work. I'm just feeling really sad. And she said, Vijay, don't get sad. Get glad. So now I'm afraid to tell her anything anymore. Like, Mom, I don't know why I'm not meeting the right guy. Well, maybe you're strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. My mother is super Hindu. Any other Hindus here? Woo! Yeah. And my oldest sister is a born-again Christian. My mom was pissed when my sister converted. She was like, why does she have to be a born-again Christian? We are Hindu. We are born again and again and again. But my mom has a lot of rage issues. She's very angry at the British for colonizing India. Yeah. That's why whenever she flies back to India, she goes on British Airways. So that she can boss British people around, right? She's like, excuse me, Whitney. There is no safety card in my seat pocket. Are you trying to kill me and all of the Indians on the plane? But where are the dads tonight? Round of applause. Dads, where are you? Dads! I love my dad. My dad thinks education is very important, like most Indian dads. My dad has a BSc, an MBA, an LLM, and he's a CPA. I've got HBO, ADD, and a DUI. But, he does like to brag about his daughters. He's like, hey, this is my daughter Shanti. She's a doctor. This is my daughter Indu. She's a lawyer. This is my daughter Vijay. She's adopted. But at a young age, I knew that I was different from my sisters. I knew I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to act. And my dad was not happy when I told him the plan. He's like, act? I will tell you how to act. You act like Albert Einstein and do your math homework. But I knew I was destined for stardom, so I tried out for every play and musical at my all-white Jewish elementary school. I got my first break in the 4th grade. I was cast as Martin Luther King. But I was so scared of my dad when I was a kid because he was always yelling at me and he was so much bigger than me. But now at 5'4", I'm the tallest person in the family. When he starts yelling, it's like this little chihuahua. He's like, Vijay, I really think you should quit stand-up comedy. You should get married, you're not getting younger, But he's low-key now. My dad's pretty low-key because after he retired, he started watching a lot of soap operas. His favorite show is All My Children. And he always has to update me about what's happening in All My Children. He's like, Vijay, that Erica is behaving very badly. She tricked a man into marriage. She's spending all his money. Now they don't know if the baby is his. Very manipulative. Just like your mother. My dad has high blood pressure, cataracts, had a triple bypass, and is an organ donor. I'm like, Daddy, your organs suck. Nobody wants them. And he goes, Vijay, there is one organ that everybody wants. And my mom said, but I don't think it still works. TMI, no way. I just got my nails done, and the lady was like, your nail look good, look good. You want mustache wax? And I'm like, actually, I'm trying to grow it out. But I'm trying online dating. Yeah, I know. I know you guys won't admit it, but I've seen, half of you guys on IndianDating.com. Don't even try to BS me right now, okay? But I'm trying to figure out what guys are looking for. And these guys are like, I want a woman who likes to take risks, seeks adventure, explores exotic locations. Dude doesn't want a girlfriend, he wants a pirate. But there are really big differences actually between the Indian sites and the American sites. Like on Match.com, the turn-ons are like long hair, brainiac, sense of humor. And on IndianDating.com, it's like H1 visa. Oh, yeah. But my mom at this point, because my mom always wanted me to marry somebody Indian and date Indian guys. And now she just doesn't even care. She's just like, Vijay, look who I met at the supermarket. His name is Victor. And I'm like, yeah, I see that on his name tag. Yeah. And she goes, Vijay, think of your eggs. They're rotting every year. Last year, your egg could have been a doctor. This year, a pizza guy. Next year, a Republican. But my uncle recently came to visit from India, and he was so excited. He gets off the plane, he says, Vijay, I got to go to Las Vegas. Because I hear that girls will give you a laptop for $20. And my mom, my dad was trying to make my mom really jealous about the fact that he was going to go to Las Vegas alone with his brother. So he was like, hey, Sarasu, are you worried that I'm going to go to Sin City all by myself? Surrounded by beautiful women in Sin City. Can you trust me in Sin City? My mom said, go ahead. Those women will never go out with you. Sin City, I trust you alone. Circuit City, I don't trust you alone. So I like white people. Where are my white people? Hey! Hi, white people. I love white people. I love seeing white people at Indian weddings because they're always like, oh my God! What an amazing cultural experience! The colors, it's all so beautiful. Then 3 hours later, they're like, when is this gonna end? God, please, But I'm tired of going to weddings, though, because I'm single, and all these aunties are trying to set me up all the time. And the last one I went to, my auntie was like, Vijay, I have found a perfect suitor for you, okay? Tall, fair, doctor, and she lives in New Jersey. I was like, Auntie, wait a second. What kind of doctor is she? But when I first started stand-up comedy, I started doing it in places like in West Virginia, because I grew up in Maryland, and I did a steakhouse in West Virginia. Now, this is the last place that a Hindu should be by herself. But it was really difficult for me to tell my family that I wanted to do stand-up, so I told my mom first, because she's the nicer one in the family, and she said, don't worry, I will handle Daddy, no problem. 2 minutes later, my father is furious. He's like, Vijay, how can you do this to your family? I have struggled in this country for 25 years and you're going to disgrace me this way? I'm like, Dad, I just want to make people laugh. Be a comedian. He said, oh, your mom told me you wanted to be a Canadian. When I first started doing stand-up, I had this joke that I wrote that was a talking vagina joke. And it was killer joke. And my parents had seen me perform this several times, if you can believe it, okay? And one day, my dad's friend from India, who is the dean of a university, was coming to see my show. So I omitted the talking vagina joke. And afterwards, his friend was like, you are very dirty. And I felt so bad, and I'm like, Daddy, your friend thought I was so dirty, and I didn't even do the talking vagina joke. And he goes, Vijay, you don't change your act for nobody. If everybody else wants vagina, you give them vagina. Thank you guys so much. My name's Vijai. Thank you.